Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wave Channel 5, Greenville Public Access TV, as we continue the Downtown series in conjunction with Downtown Greenville as we take a look at those things that make up the downtown area of Greenville, Ohio. This is the 23rd show in a series we've done here this past few months, and today we take our cameras up to the Sweet Annie Cabin Shop here on South Broadway. Alex Warner, along with videographer Nick Schmidt, made the trip up here, and with us is Annie Euler, and Annie is the manager, I guess you would say, of Sweet Annie's. Am I correct in that?
Well, co-workers.
Co-workers.
Yeah. Donna and I are both like substitute managers, I guess.
And as I understand it, the owner couldn't be with us today. Miss Billenstein, is that her name?
Yeah, Diane Billenstein. She had knee replacement surgery, so she really wanted to do this, but she couldn't be here, so she nominated me. So.
Lucky you, huh? Yeah. Well, let's talk just a little bit. First of all, let's talk about your background. How long have you been up here, and how did you get involved in all this?
I've worked here about 3.5 years, and I was working in another place, and I was just running a lot, and I thought, I'm getting too old to do this. I need something a little slower pace. So Donna, that I work with, I'm friends with her daughter, and she said, why don't you talk to my mom? And so it was a great transition. I got to slow down a little bit, and it's just an enjoyable place to work.
Do you live here in town then, do you?
I do, born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Greenville High School, too? Okay.
Yeah, you were teaching there when I was there.
What was your maiden name?
Hoflick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know if I had you in class or not. If I didn't, you were lucky. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about Sweet Annie's Cabin. How'd this all come about, and a little bit about the background of the business?
Yeah. Well, she started in 1986, and they live on they actually have a hog farm. They're hog farmers up close to Ansonia, and she just loves crafting and that kind of thing. So when the kids were little, she started actually on the farm, and they had a couple extra outbuildings. So she set one up as a shop, and she would make crafts and sell them there. And then her and a couple other friends would go around to the different craft shows in Ohio, and she would do the craft show circuit. And while the kids were little, so she could still be home. And then after a while, and the kids got a little bit older, she came up on Broadway and was at the Enchanted Cottage, which is where Michael's Clocks is now. And
down on the corner of 5th Street?
Yeah. She co-owned that with another lady, and she did that for a little while. And then she left that and went back on the circuit, the show circuit, for a while. Did that for a while through the 90s. And then she came back to Broadway, and she had a little store on the other side of Broadway. It was much smaller than this, and did a lot of crafts, sold a lot of material and patterns. I actually remember going there with a group of ladies and buying the material and making the things and all that. So she did that. Then she had an opportunity to go down to the Town and Country Shopping Center in Kettering. So she was down there for...
So she didn't have a store here in Greenville. She moved everything down there, or did she still maintain one here?
No, she closed this one and went down there.
Oh, okay.
I think there was just an opening, and she thought she'd try that. And that's where she was when Ed and Kathy Cornell actually came into the store and said, what would you think about coming here? Because this used to be Ed Cornell's.
Right.
And opening this as your store. And that was about, I think, 11, 12 years ago that she opened this, and this is where she's been. So total of 29 years this fall. Wow. She's been doing this.
And she evidently likes the downtown area because she keeps coming back to it.
Loves the downtown. She said it's just her heart to be here. She's born and raised in Greenville, graduated from Greenville. So, yeah. She's.
Yeah. I tell you, folks, of course, this, like Annie said, this was Ed Cornell's forever, it seemed like. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in here, you cannot believe how they've utilized the space. There is tons and tons of inventory up here, and we're going to take a look at some of that and talk a little bit about, you know, the typical customer and just some of the different things you offer. And we'll be back here in just a minute with Annie Euler here from Sweet Annie's Cabin here on the Wave Channel 5. We'll be back in just a moment. Alex Warner along with Annie Euler, and we're going to take a tour of Sweet Annie's Cabin here on South Broadway, and we're going to start in this one section over here, and my gosh, there is just so much stuff here. I can't believe it. Let's talk a little bit about this portion of the store. What all you have over here, Annie? Yeah,
this is kind of our children's side. The store's basically divided into 3 areas, and the one area is children's, and she added the children's line about 7-8 years ago. It's just children's clothing, mainly newborn, infant, toddler sizes. There's a few older girl sizes, but yeah, and then we have toys, everything you need for when you have a baby, diaper bags. It's a great place for expectant mothers, mothers, grandmothers love to shop in here. So.
How do you advertise this? Because, I'm up and down Broadway a lot, and of course, I just haven't stopped in here. I'm sure I know my wife has, but I just wasn't aware of this. So how do you make this known to the public, what all you have in here? I mean, what's your method of marketing?
Yeah, we have an email list of about 700, and then we try to utilize the early bird and even like the Salina paper, the Stillwater paper, and we just try to get the word out there when we're having sales and those kind of things.
Do you have like a website or anything?
We have a Facebook page.
Facebook page.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It seems like Facebook pages are really becoming more and more popular because more and more people use the social media and everything. Well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, we've got I don't even know where to start. Let's take a look at this. Now, you have like different type of seasonal clothing that you bring in then, I assume. So this is a cute outfit here. Was it size 6? So this would be for a girl how old?
Maybe around 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, just depending on what size they are.
Cute little summer outfit.
Yeah.
And you've got just stuff all over the place. So from infants up, so you got like the onesies and all that kind of stuff?
We have all that. So receiving blankets, all the kind of blankets you need, the little hoodie towels for after a bath, and all those. And all the winter inventory is upstairs right now. So we rotate.
I was going to say, because you have to order ahead, 3-4 months ahead of time to get stuff in?
Yeah, we do. I mean, if we need something right away, we can do that. But she tries to usually order in the spring for the winter, and in the winter for the spring. Just like the rest of the store, we've already ordered Christmas stuff. So
who are most of your vendors? Where do you get most of your merchandise?
She does do some of the shows. She's been to Atlanta and some of the different shows, but we have a 4-door cabinet full of catalogs from the suppliers, and I couldn't tell you how many. We've got a lot of suppliers, but there's specific suppliers that do children's clothing, and then we have different suppliers like for the garden things and that kind of stuff. But it's all catalogs, or a lot of times the sales rep will come and actually sit down with her, especially at like the holidays and stuff, to do the big orders. And then they'll just spend like 2-3 hours going through catalogs and ordering.
Now, has she always had, you said she just started putting in the clothing line. How about the toys? Did that come in about the same time? Because there's, tons of stuff up here as far as toys are concerned.
Yeah, it was all kind of about the same time. I mean, before, when she first started, it was more like cabin decor and woodland kind of things. And then she kind of branched into the garden. And then her and her daughter started talking about adding the children's line. Thought that it would be a really good unique, because these clothes aren't clothes you're going to find like at the big stores like Walmart and that kind of stuff. So it's a really neat place to come if you want to find a really unique gift.
Yeah, and you certainly have lots of. I'm just standing here and I'm looking at all these things. I'm thinking all these little outfits, and then we got the little rainbow flip flops and stuff. I like the orange on the back. I'm an orange kind of guy. Anyhow, but just all sorts of stuff up here. I'll probably be looking if I hang that back up right. So it goes up, you said, mainly infants, and then up through 7, 8 years old, and then you said you had a few things for some older kids, too?
It's usually, the bracket is kind of like newborn up to 24 months. And then there's like 2 toddler up to 4 toddler. And then there's another crossover that goes like from 4 to around size 8. And we carry some of that stuff. When we get up around 8, 9, 10, the girls, when they get older like that, it's much harder to come in and buy something for them. They like to go and look. So I honestly, they start to get to that age, they want to start going to the malls and looking at those clothes, which,
Yeah, that's when those female genetics kick in. They want to buy their. I still haven't figured that out. I had 2 daughters. Of course, they're grown. And then I've got grandsons. I have not heard of this. This is, what is Calico Critters? This looks like all sorts of sets. You got different boxes with different things. And what's Calico Critters?
It's kind of a newer line of toys. She has 2 daughters, Diane does, and which is really good because then they have kids. So they're kind of the younger, so they keep her informed on what the latest thing is. And her granddaughter was really into this, so we added this line too.
Okay. Calico critters, probably they're like little puppies or something?
Little animals, there's dogs, there's I think little pigs, squirrels, and yeah, instead of people, it's critters.
Okay. The Calico critters. We're here with Annie Euler, and we're going to swing from the children's section, and then we're going to go over, and what did you say the next one is like the garden section?
Yeah, we have really extensive garden area.
Okay, we'll be back here on Channel 5 as you watch this here on Greenville Public Access TV, The Wave, Channel 5. We'll be back in just a moment. We've moved from the children's section now over to the home and garden part here at Sweeney Annie's Cabin up on South Broadway here in Greenville. And Annie, let's talk just a little bit about when did this section start? Because this certainly surprised me when we came in because I wasn't expecting this kind of merchandise here.
Yeah, like I said, she had started out mostly with a lot of country and cabin things, but then she, pretty soon after she opened, started adding the garden area, which is just lots of florals and greenery and birdhouses and just anything you need to decorate your garden outside or bring your garden inside even, you know, and decorate inside. So
yeah, and it's certainly just a lot of things in here. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Nick's going to take pictures of all this. The typical person that comes in to buy in this section, what would you say your typical customer is that comes in? Is there a different type of clientele that comes for this as opposed to over on the other side?
Yeah, we actually get a lot of people that'll come in and maybe they have a funeral that's coming up, and Diane is just really good at putting together arrangements. So they might find, like we have garden stones that are bereavement stones or little figures, and they'll come in and they'll want to put something together to take to like the funeral home. A lot of charitable donations too, the same way. But it's people that are a lot of times gifting, you know, shopping for gifts, and they just want to be able to put something together. And a lot of people do that on their own, but you know, then Diane's trained us to, you know, to come out and get on the floor and kind of make suggestions and put this together with this face, or the lanterns we have are real popular, that you can use that as an arrangement. So it's a lot of that kind of thing. And then of course people do stuff on their own too. I'll have to show you the fairy garden area too.
I can hardly wait to get to the fairy garden. You don't have fresh flowers though. You don't carry anything like that, do you?
No, everything we have is artificial. The closest we've gotten to fresh is we did have some live moss to use, and that was for the fairy garden area. But yeah, we stay artificial. So, but it's amazing how over the years, I mean, people walk in and you can't tell the difference between the live and the artificial anymore. It's not that cheap plastic so much.
And so you say a lot of this is garden, and then I see you've got like housewares, and it looks like teapots and different crocks and things of that nature.
We have a one particular company that sells a lot of pottery and curtains and linens and stuff, and that's kind of part of this area too. And yeah, and then we also have a kitchen section, so which has been kind of nice working with KitchenAid on that. We like to the downtown businesses we refer each other to different stores. So a lot of times people go to KitchenAid to find maybe something more gadgety, and they'll send them over here, or if you know they'll come in looking for something and we'll send them there. So she added the kitchen section to kind of help with that, and then the dishes, she's got some different lines of dishes. And
I think that's kind of neat the way you say that you and other stores downtown kind of relate with each other. I think that's really an important part of a vibrant downtown area, and that's what Greenville certainly has become. There's a lot of revitalization taking place downtown here.
Yeah. I mean, of course I love to make the sale, but I also love to be able to say, we don't have that, but you might check down at Ann's Gifts because I think they carry that. Because you're right. I mean, if we'd had just a store on Broadway, it wouldn't last. You know, we need each other. So
yeah, very good. Well, we're going to move back in just a second now, and you say you have not only a kitchen section, but then we want to kind of take a look at the area that really started this whole thing, and that'd be your country kind of area. So we'll be back here. Thanks for watching here on the Wave Channel 5 as we continue the Downtown series as part of the Our Town series here on Greenville Public Access TV. Nick's moved the camera over here, and now we're in what's called the primitive section. And Annie, explain what the primitive section is. I know I've got an antique sign over my head. I don't know if that means anything or not, but what's primitive section? What do you have here?
It's kind of a style of country. It's one of the more original. When she first started the store, she had the primitive and the country, lots of the country stuff, and then lots of the outdoor bears and woodland kind of thing. Primitive is more, I guess what I think of is like a couple hundred years ago, the tin pots and the punched tin, that kind of thing. So
like
it's
a little lantern kind of thing here?
Right.
Is that
exactly.
is this kind of, I'm just pulling something up
yeah.
here, something like this?
Yeah, that's kind of a primitive style. Even this look right here is a lot primitive. So it's kind of what you think of before it really came into being decorating country. It was kind of the things you used to survive.
Okay. And then I see back here you've got like a crock or something. It's got like a star on it. What is this something? As I knock different things over here. Now, what is here? Hold that. Just hang up with this.
Pattern is a real common primitive decoration. Yeah, you'll see a lot. Yeah, the metal stars, which have been really popular the last few years, that all comes from primitive.
You know, my wife and I have had a debate on that. You drive down the roads and you see the stars just in different sizes on the side of houses. There's a meaning to that, correct? Isn't it something about hospitality or something?
Yeah, I know there's like a hospitality. The pineapple is another symbol, and I believe that stands for friendship. So yeah, there's the symbols in the primitive definitely have meanings. So
yeah, I know when we take our grandsons, everybody's always looking for stars. It's kind of like looking for Volkswagen Beetles, you know, slug bugs and so forth. Kind of a game we play with them. Well, we're going to swing around now from the primitive section, and Nick, let's swing around here and take a look at. You call this the kitchen section next, correct?
Kind of our kitchen gadget.
Okay.
Area.
I get everything set up here so we don't break anything else. We'll swing around this way. And so the kitchen section then, is this something that's just recently come in then, or has this been here for a while?
It's kind of developed over the years. I do like to brag on, I think we have the biggest selection of cookie cutters in the county. So, and we have every holiday, graduation just happened. We have the little hat tassel hat and all that, and so that's kind of neat. And then the rest of it is just there's some like little girls miniature things that they can use to help mom bake with, and there's also a wine section that's involved with that. We sell tons of wine bottle holders, and which make great gifts, wedding gifts, and that kind.
You don't sell the wine though, do you?
No, I'm working on her.
Oh. A happy employee is a good employee, right?
Exactly. So yeah, it's just.
And then I see cookbooks, and we've got dip mixes, and just a little bit of everything up here. So yeah, it really has surprised me, folks, because I just have not been in here, and the different things this store has is just unbelievable. The kitchen section, then I see we've got graters, all sorts of just utensils. What makes you think that in competition with a lot of stores carry that kind of stuff? But like you say, you do have tons of just the cookie cutters, for example.
Right. Well, the neat thing about, you pointed out the graters and the cookie sheets back here, this metal stuff, this is all American made. So you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but the quality is really fine. So. Okay. And people are always asking, because it's amazing how many of these companies started out American made and have switched. And some companies she's had to drop because the quality just went downhill so much. But so, yeah, she tries to bring in American made whenever she can. So.
Very good. Well, this has been the kitchen section, all with the primitives. And we're going to pause for just a moment. We're going to go around and then take a look at the country section. And you said the country section is basically how this all started, correct? Yeah.
And this is kind of the original sign back here for that. And yeah, but she started a lot with cabin. I mean, her favorite place to go is Gatlinburg. Oh. So lots of cabin-y things and bears and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm thinking about it. It's Sweet Annie's, and your name's Annie. Did that help you get a job here, just being named Annie?
It was like the seal. Now I'm the only one that can't answer the phone with my name because I don't want to be the owner. So that's all the responsibilities and the bills and all that. So
we'll be back in just a second. We'll swing around and take a look at the country section here at Sweet Annie's Cabin. Another feature here at Sweet Annie's Cabin is women's fashion. And you said, Annie, that this is something fairly new, a new addition to the store.
It is fairly new. I mean, we've carried women's purses and a few scarves, but we've really, after the first year, Diane really wanted to kind of beef up this section. And so we've got in a bunch of summer clothes and many more scarves, accessories, wallets, purses. So.
Yeah. And this looks like it's just a little bit different, like, some of the clothes you just typically don't find at a big box store type of thing.
Yeah. It's we've found a line that really is kind of a unique style that we're trying to pull in here too, and then trying to coordinate it with the jewelry we already carry and the scarves and that kind of thing. Even a few summer sandals. So. Yeah.
And this is for like, I don't know what that is. That's a camisole or something, right?
Camisole. Yeah.
And so are these mainly for 18 and older, or can it be younger, or what's the age limits here?
I think it can hit any age. The store on the whole tend to draw the older, more middle-aged woman, but yeah, we've got some really cute sundresses and that kind of thing. So there's a little bit for every age.
Yeah, and I'm kind of liking, I'll put that back in the right place later. And I'm kind of liking the hats and everything here. So you got some hats up here, I see.
Yeah, we've got some sun hats in, and we just kind of fancied it up a little bit with a scarf around it, and so you can do that because it gets a little hot in the summer to wear the scarf around your neck. So. Yeah,
you and Donna kind of do this on your own, just kind of throw things together then.
Yeah,
huh? We got a good eye, that matches.
Yeah, we just kind of work around the store and in the windows. We do the window displays and just put together what seems to go together, and it's fun.
Okay, something else you have here, I see this wood wick. What is wood wick?
Wood wick is a line of candles that we carry, and the wick is actually wood, and when you light it, it crackles like a fireplace would.
Oh, I thought they were just like ropes or rope material that had been dipped in wax or tallow.
No, these are actually,
the wicks are wood.
Yeah, I can show you one. Huh. It actually has a wood wick.
I'll be darned.
Where the name comes from.
It crackles.
It'll crackle while it's burning. So, and they're, I believe they're made out of soy. So. Okay. Which is a cleaner burn too.
Well, so. Then I see you've got something over here too. It talks about, well, maybe that's just what you use for the display case over here. Something about fragrance never sounded so good. That's why it crackles.
Right. Yeah, the sound of it. And they also have diffusers and different things. Some really pretty. They're called ribbon wicks. And this again is wood. And you light one end and it works its way down and the whole thing flames. So it's very pretty. Very pretty.
I'm telling you, they've got everything up here. The only thing you're missing is grocery stuff, right? Yeah. We're going to take a look at another part of the store here in just a second from Sweet Annie's Cabin. Reached the country section here at Sweet Annie's Cabin, and Annie, you said that this is kind of one of the original starts for the entire business.
Yeah, more like the outdoor woodland kind of area and the cabiny area. Diane's love of nature just comes out in all that. And I was telling Mr. Warner that she loves to go to Gatlinburg, so the cabin thing was big. When she first started, it was, like I said, it was kind of the biggest section. It's not as popular as it used to be. So she's downsized that a little bit, but it's just a lot of...
Have you noticed that? Antiques, of course, used to be so big, but I think as the generations come through, maybe antiquing's not as big as it used to be. Have you noticed that? Like you said, this section's maybe downsized a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's just a change. It seems almost like we've gone back to that retro 50 kind of modern, straight lines and that kind of thing. The country look isn't as popular, especially with the younger kids a lot. Right. But
well, let's pick a few things off here. You said animals, so I'm looking here, and these are wood or ceramics or what?
It's a resin, and that's a common material now. A lot of these can be set outside. Okay. They won't rot or anything like that. They'll weather a little bit, but they'll stay, good.
Yeah, and I mean, when she talks about, we got deer up here and, animals, I'm not even sure what they are. And Nick will get a whole bunch of pictures of this. You said you've got what do you call this, a bear section?
It's our, the bears, it's a real popular line. Big Sky Carvers is the name of it. And there are just hundreds of small bear figurines. It's a collectible thing. A lot of people, collect these and that kind of thing.
Okay, and then probably give them as gifts to like grandkids, maybe, or not? Maybe not. These might be a little more expensive.
Yeah, they are a little pricey, and they're mostly like displayed. You know, like maybe you have a cabinet full of your little bear figures. You know, so.
Now, while I'm thinking about it, your store hours.
Yes, we're right now through the summer. We're Monday through Friday. We open at 10 and we're open till 5:30, and then Saturday we open at 10 and we close at 4:30. And those are always flexible, especially the Saturday. Sometimes, you know, there's people in the store, and so we'll stay open. Yeah.
And then your phone number?
It is 937-547-9499.
9449, 547-9449. I say that.
499.
9499. Let's say 547-9499. And then you have a Facebook page, you say, and so people can just get on and type in what?
You can just type in, search Sweet Annie's Cabin, and it'll come up. Okay. Yeah, I think I always, when I'm looking for it, Sweet Annie's Cabin Facebook page. And I'm so computer, savvy.
Well, like a lot of people, yes. Anyhow, this has been Annie Euler up here at Sweet Annie's Cabin, and along with Donna Kreitzer, we'll have Donna on camera here sometime during the show, are kind of the ones that are kind of working for Diane Billenstein right now. You say she just, how'd she do with her knee surgery?
She did okay. They actually found a hairline fracture too while they were in there, so it's going to be a little slower recovery than she was hoping. It's hard to keep her down, so. Yeah.
Well, Sweet Annie's Cabin is located here in downtown Greenville, right beside Greenville National Bank, across from KitchenAid Experience. And folks, I tell you, if you have any interest at all in anything, I think they've carried most of it up here, from the children's section over to the home and garden, the primitive, the kitchen section, and then here in the woodland section that started off. And furniture's for sale too, Annie just let me know. So we're glad you continue to watch these shows here, not only on the Wave Channel 5, but also on YouTube, as we have all these different stores that make up the downtown area here, as we do the downtown series here on the Wave Channel 5. On behalf of our videographer, Nick Schmidt, I'm Alex Warner. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time here as we have another show on our town, Greenville, Ohio. Good night, everybody.